As teenagers, most of us were doing stuff like this. Hilarious, yes, and bones do heal. But young Tavi Gevinson in 2010 at just 13 was the toast of Paris Fashion Week.
It blows my mind too. Sometimes I've gone to events, people are just like, she's a blogger, why is she here? And I'm like, I don't know either. Like, somebody tell me, like, I don't get it either.
Thanks to her blog she started at 11, Tavi quickly made a name for herself in the fashion world. In 2011, Style Rookie morphed into Rookie, an online magazine that attracted 1 million views within 6 days of launching. Continuing her love of fashion, pop culture and feminism, the site is written by and for young women. In the country to talk about her rise in the media, Tavi has even been labelled by Lady Gaga as the future of journalism.
Awesome.
A great time to remind you, she's still just 17.
Please welcome Tavi Gevinson. Now, Tavi, you began with a blog when you were 11. Now, I've read some blogs by 11-year-olds. Awful stuff. How did yours end up taking over the world?
I don't know. I think at first people were like, whoa, she's a child. And then hopefully there was something that, like, gave me a bit of staying power. But
You're talking about staying power. Look how old you are. That's crazy.
It's a little crazy. Just like a little bit.
So when Paris Fashion Week and New York Fashion Week are sending you tickets, what are your parents saying?
Well, at first, okay, first I didn't tell my parents I had a blog, which I don't advise, like, not good internet safety, because I was like shy and I thought they would think it was stupid or something. And then the first time I had to ask them if, you know, it was okay was when I was going to be interviewed for the New York Times. And so they were like...
You should mention it then, yeah.
Yeah, right. They were in total disbelief. And with that stuff too, but I mean, my dad has kind of really enjoyed over the years just like observing. And yeah, once he was talking to this guy who was like, I so relate to Tavi because, you know, where I grew up, I dressed weird and everyone else just wore LL Bean. And my dad was wearing LL Bean. But he enjoys that.
And there's so much negativity online, you know, online bullying and young people being, you know, bullied online. Mm-hmm. So how do you find being a teenager in 2013, especially since you're using your blog to inspire and empower young ladies? How do you find being a teenager?
It's a mixed bag. I think any teenage experiences. I think there's like partially like cyberbullying stuff, but then also just like thinking everyone is happier than you are because of Instagram.
Yeah.
And that they're eating these amazing meals and they're probably just having baked beans on toast.
Right, exactly. Like, oh, I'm so happy for you and your cupcake and your perfect boyfriend. Like, no, I know you're watching Seinfeld just like I am. Please own up to it.
You mentioned your parents before. You know, you're a wonderful, wonderful woman and you've done some amazing things and you are inspiring young women. Like, I want to create a child like you. How do I do that? What are your parents like? Are your parents, were they always strict with you? Were they really easy and let you do what you want? Like, what kind of, how were you raised?
My mom is a textiles artist and my dad is a retired English teacher. So I think there was just a combination of a lot of like reading books and being encouraged to make art all the time. And, but I think they knew when to hold back so that years later I would discover bands and then be like, oh, you're much cooler than I thought you were. You liked these bands 30 years ago.
It's amazing. You're editor-in-chief, like you're a media powerhouse now. You're 17 years old. I mean, when I was 17, I don't even remember what I was doing, but I was trying to get in the blue light discos. That's really all I was doing. Like, your head must explode some mornings.
Absolutely. But I just kind of have to remember that, like, you know, it's difficult balancing everything, but I prefer dealing with that challenge to just having to pick one thing over the other. Because you know, my life is not stuff like this night after night. So it is a lot to juggle.
Yeah. Now, you were recently in a film acting with James Gandolfini, which I think sadly ended up being his final film. How was that experience?
It was really amazing and really inspiring. He was great. Him and Julia Louis-Dreyfus played a prank on me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Kind of a prank, kind of just like uncomfortable. Basically, there's a scene where I walk in And it's like the morning and they're in bed kissing and I'm like, oh, sorry for intruding, and it's, you know, embarrassing and surprising. So we did it a few times, and then one time I went in and they were just like straight up humping. Like, she was like, yeah, and they just wanted to like see how long I could go with the rest of the scene. And then after they were like, great job, you really hung in there, kid. Okay, thank you.
It's kind of a joke, or just straight out humping. That's what it was.
Yeah, prank.
Tavi is here as Tavi Gevinson.
Thank you.